Hey guys, Preston here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reacting to the Steven Nelson signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a 3-year, $25.5 million deal. As a Steelers fan, I thought I'd hit this one first. I am going to do a whole free agency video eventually once it all starts to wrap up, looking at it as a whole, discuss trades and stuff too, because it's been a pretty crazy past 48 hours. But this one surprised me thoroughly pleasantly because Pittsburgh is not known for spending in free agency, and after everything we lost this year, making a splash was good. This is the most money I think actually ever spent in free agency by Pittsburgh, which means they haven't made a big move in forever. The last big move was Mike. Did I say Mike? Yeah, Mike Mitchell. 5 years, $25 million. This deal is 3 years for $25.5 million, so that means it's averaging $8.5 million per year on a 3-year deal. This is a good move by Pittsburgh. Honestly, I thought they needed to address either the linebacker or corner needs in this draft because it was just time, you know? Sign one, draft the other was my philosophy, and it looks like we have signed the corner with Steven Nelson from Kansas City. In case you don't know, I've seen a lot of people saying they don't know who he is, but he's really kind of taken a shine this past year because with the departure of Marcus Peters, he got a lot of starting time. I think Kansas City actually had the most passes thrown towards him all season because teams had to pass a lot when playing the Chiefs' high-powered offense. And so with the amount he faced, he had some struggles. He got burned a couple times, but he had 4 picks and like 15 passes defended in his first year starting on the outside. And he did really good. I mean, 4 picks is more than like any corner Pittsburgh had all last year. All of them together, I'm pretty sure, had less than 4 picks corner-wise in Pittsburgh. So you're getting a lot of value here. Some quick facts for you. Pro Football Focus, if you go off the rankings for last year, he'd actually be the highest ranking corner out of any of the Steelers corners, even higher than Joe Hayden, who had a great year. So pairing him, Steven Nelson and Joe Hayden, is actually, we now have one of the better cornerback groups out there. Definitely way more solid than what we had because purely off Pro Football Focus rankings, Steve Nelson is 2 times better than Cody Sensabaugh, who was our number 2 corner since Artie Burns has not panned out. So now, looking at it, we have our number 1 corner on the outside is Joe Hayden. Our slot corner is Mike Hilton, who's super solid, kind of came out of nowhere, the undrafted fella from Ole Miss. And our new second side corner is Steven Nelson, formerly of the Chiefs, which is awesome. We've paid him, it's our first splash in free agency in a long time. I hope it pays off. He's good. He's shown potential. He's still young, too. He's just turned 26 sort of recently, so he's in his mid-20s still. And so his 3-year deal, that deal will be up by the time he's 30, and we can either re-sign him or move on, depending on how good he ends up being. Yeah, this is a good move, especially with all the, obviously, you've probably heard about the Odell Beckham trade to the Browns, so this move came just in time, because obviously Odell and Jarvis will be a problem for any corner pair to handle, but it would have been even worse if one of those corners guarding Odell or Jarvis was Cody Sensabaugh. At least now Steven Nelson is definitely an upgrade over Sensabaugh, which means a big upgrade has happened on Pittsburgh. There's a lot of people ruling them out. I still say they can easily win this. They still have a good chance to win this division. Jordan Brown not being there hurts, right? But you still have Juju and Connor and McDonald and Ben, who's good at spreading the ball. We've won before, and especially if this defense can get upgraded. We already led the league in sacks, and adding a corner that's actually pretty good to this team helps a lot. Now, because if you can get the pressure and lock up downfield, our defense could be scary next year. So now, draft-wise, I'd say probably don't go corner first round. You can, I guess, if you really want to make sure you don't miss at corner again like you did with Artie Burns, but I'd say they should probably go with a Devin Bush or Mac Wilson, whoever the top middle linebacker available is. And if no middle linebacker with the first round grade is available, then probably go with safety if they're available still, Thompson or Adderley or something like that, because currently after this signing, the top 2 positional leads for Pittsburgh right now, or 3 in no particular order, are safety, middle linebacker, and wide receiver. So I'd say go best available, preferably focus on the defense. It's kind of something we've done forever, and finally getting this defense up to par would be a great thing for this season, especially with the offense that Cleveland is working with now. All right, guys, that's just my overall opinion. I was pretty hyped for this signing. There's a decent amount of people trashing it, but you have to realize this corner market wasn't insanely strong, and Nelson was one of the top guys available in the market, especially after other guys signed. And we offered the former Broncos cornerback who signed with Houston, I think is Roby or something like that. We offered him a 3-year deal too, and he turned it down. I have a feeling it's probably the same deal we gave to Nelson, but Roby wanted a 10-year, $1 $10 million deal with Houston. And honestly, I think Nelson is better than Roby. Roby struggled last season just based off his Pro Football Focus and stuff, being a first-year starting safety out there. And Nelson really, he had a breakout year last year and he had to deal with a lot of pressure being the new, number 1 or number 2 guy, which is a big step up from where he was. So, yeah, Pittsburgh's actually upgraded the position for once, and they spent money in free agency. Now we got to see if they spend any more and how the draft goes. All right, guys, stay tuned for more NFL free agency news. This is KMA Preston signing out. See you guys later.